Standard technical issues as we start. Same as every week. There we go. Looks like we're going live now. Okay, welcome everyone back to this week's Reckoning. We have 7 people lined up, I believe. Dante will keep me up to date on the phone, I hope. I've got my phone here, so if Dante, you can hear me, please keep me updated with the situation. But looks like we have 7 people this week, which is good. So we're going to dive straight into it. We're going to be quick. We're going to fire along because I'm currently in Italy. I've just been to Ferrari. It's my Ferrari hat. I'm in a hotel, so I'm going to be annoying everybody if they hear me. However, we're going to be leaving shortly after the stream to catch the plane. So we're going to be quick and on this. So if people have the questions, quick, concise, and straight to the point. So the first person we've got is a man. Can you hear me? Let me know if you're connected with us.
Yes, I can hear you
today. Awesome. I'm just going to change my. I have a slight technical issue here with my speaker. The standard. We have one every week. There's always something that goes wrong. There we go. We're working. You hear me?
the usual, it's fine.
Awesome. Brilliant. So I would just let you. We just start with tell us about yourself, what you're working on or what your business in, and I'll take it from there.
Okay, so my background is I've had different jobs, but recently embracing AI, and
Awesome.
I've developed a platform called Winnerpreneur, which means winning entrepreneurs. And what it does is it does UGCs for different firms, B2B and B2C. In addition to that, it also does voice agents and obviously other AI stuff, including seeing where AI can be applied in their businesses in recurring tasks. The challenge I have is that obviously I've got the website with all these different components and things. Now I want to market it as a complete package, but not sure how to do that as a package rather than keeping them independent entities within the frame.
Yep, great. I love that.
Because somebody might send a video or somebody just website done. So it's a little thing on that. How holistic for everything done from us, but unsure of A, how to procure those clients, and B, how to obviously give them an offering which is enticing enough.
Yep, absolutely. What have you tried just now in terms of the marketing? Have you tried marketing each individual packages at the moment, or are you?
So at the moment, we haven't put a price on different packages, and we've just got a different landing pages for different things, and saying book a call and discovery call, purely because without understanding the business and the pain points, it will be pointless to give prices. And that's what my dilemma is, that sometimes it adds transparency to the business model, but sometimes it's not worthwhile giving them the price up front because the complexity factor of implementing something from start to finish could be a lot more. So what would you suggest in that perspective?
Absolutely, I definitely agree that, and it's the same as what we talk about. We lead with value, so we don't want to be just throwing the price out there because then people start to price shop. It's what are you getting and what ultimately are they getting from it, and that's where the sales call comes in. So I definitely agree with the booking the call. When you mentioned there with the different landing pages, are you running different ads to these pages at the moment? How are you getting traffic to them?
So at the moment, this is relatively new. The whole structure of the index of the website has only come live in last week because we've been working hard on it. And now we would be actually testing ads. But at the same time, what I'm doing is doing a lot of LinkedIn posts and articles around that. So creating the hype that way, sending across some just DMs, not pitching them, because the last thing you want is, hi, Lewis, you just connected with me and here you go, my website. And I'm not that kind of a person. So rather than that, I'm like, I can see that you're doing X, Y, Z, and just appreciate what you do, and over a period of time, build that relationship in that manner. Apart from that, offline as well, I've started to attend a few business of chamber and commerce meetings and things like that, and then going offline from that so that we can get traction. Because as much as AI is great, it still lacks a lot of technicalities in terms of doing certain stuff for different domains of the industry we're trying to serve. And for me, what I'm trying to do is be that go-to person within my niche, and that would take time. It's not a quick fix.
Yep. With that, I definitely with your networking, I definitely agree with keeping it very bespoke and finding out what they need and delivering to there. But when we talk about scaling and with ads, what I'd be wanting to do here is I want to be testing the different marketing funnels and seeing which product get and we can go, okay, this is the low end product that's getting people in, and then we can upsell them into the packages later. Because at the moment, especially when you start running cold traffic, you're going to have a lot of people want proof. That's exactly what this is right now here as well. Like you're coming in, this is why I'm live. This is not scripted. This is not like there's nothing can be faked here. It's live proof that we could do what we do, and that's what you need to deliver to people, especially now with AI. A lot of things are more fakeable. So you need to come in and say, hey, I'll prove to you I can get you these results. Here's a product that you can get into on a low end for you to test and try. And then once you have them, then you can upsell them to these bigger packages that includes everything. So I would be testing every little individual thing you have in your packages, each as a different funnel, and then whichever one wins, make that your main funnel that funnels into the rest of things. I think my line was cut out slightly. Yep, line died. Dante, am I still alive? Can you confirm, please? There we go, we're back.
Technology. So yeah,
Yeah,
I completely
we're
agree.
talking about AI and we can't even get Wi-Fi.
So yeah, I understand. That's what I'm trying to do, and I'm
Great.
looking forward for the 3 days with you guys as well at some point. And the reason I'm looking forward to the initial idea what I had was that
Hmm.
make something for B2C and B2B people, but more around media, because at this point of happens is people have scattered social media. So what I was trying to do was to sit with you guys and probably make something in those 3 days, which basically if you put one piece of content, it automatically gets positioned at different places and different social medias accordingly. And at the same
Yep.
time, it solves the problem because whatever pain point you discuss at Facebook is not going to be the pain point you're going to discuss at LinkedIn because it has to be polished and done. So yeah, that was
Absolutely.
my
I like that.
so yeah, that was my idea for 3 days, if obviously I'm selected.
Yeah, I mean that's I can certainly get behind the idea. It's something that would even benefit myself. As
Yeah,
I'm here. This is also creating content for me that gets distributed, and we're using AI and utilizing different softwares to do these things. So there's a demand for it. There really is. Um, yeah, I think you mentioned also B2B and B2C. There's obviously the way we market and target these people becomes very different. And a lot of the time, I love B2B because you can connect logically. You'll sit down with a business. Here's the solution. Here's what we're proposing. Here's how we're going to do it. Do you want to make this happen? Selling to consumers is a lot more, when the selling element is a lot more emotion based and more, the selling the dream outcome. Businesses don't care about that. They're like, what's the numbers? A lot of
that's right.
consumers, they don't care what the numbers are. They just want to know
The only
how it
number they're
makes them
concerned
feel.
about is the price.
A lot of the time, yeah. So that's true. So I would definitely, certainly as you scale, I would want to be focusing probably B2B first. Certainly with AI, there's a huge B2B market with AI at the moment. A lot of people are saying, "Oh, but AI is so easy to do it yourself." Big businesses don't want to do it themselves. That's the point. The reason they have a big business is because they're employing other people to do the work for them.
I think
So
they're
you
deluded when
you could
people
be that
say AI.
person.
Yeah, sorry. When people say that the AI is easy to implement in a big business, they're highly deluded. They're
Yeah,
deluded because of the fact. Let's say if you had a team of 50 people under yourself, you're employing them for a reason. You're not going to replicate each and every task of what they do. Otherwise, it will be pointless to uh, recruit them in the first place as much as you
yeah,
can, and you become the engine of that train. Basically, you're not there to run the rest of the compartments. And what people are looking at is a tunnel vision. And also, what they're ignoring is the fact that come 2030, so I've given a speech in Oxford University on AI and
Fantastic.
to doctors, luckily, and then I had a speech which I did to teachers in Worcester University. So, how to embrace AI. So, luckily, at the back of those, two different skilled people in the room, and very talented people. But the problem remains the same. 9 out of 10 times, people don't know even how to prompt. Nine out of
Yeah.
10 times, people are going to AI and say, "You know what? My name is Lewis. Write me an email. This is my website." And which is like, hang on, mate. You've not told me what your pain points are, what your
Yeah.
avatar is,
What is
what
the
your
outcome?
IP is, what's
Yeah.
your pricing strategy, where are you heading, what are you trying to achieve, and all those things are missing. So it's like going
Yeah.
to a restaurant and saying, "Bring me food," which is like, "Here's a menu. What do you want?" "No, bring me food. I'm hungry." And that's the same analogy we're using at the AI at this point of time. So yeah,
It is. I've seen
I'm
some of the prompts people like when I prompt AI, my prompts are like this. Like I love to voice note with them. I'll explain all of the context and all the information. And it's context. That's why I came on here. I started by asking you questions. I need context before I can give information. And AI will just give you the answer. And that doesn't work because it doesn't know the context.
exactly. So yeah,
Yeah.
and that's where I am. So basically, I rather book a meeting, go into the business,
Yes.
and then see their pain points and then give them a solution rather than say, "Here's a solution, one size fits all, have it all." So it doesn't work that way.
Yeah, absolutely. So with your services with the B2B side that you're currently focusing on, is there a lot of bespoke elements or is a lot of it off the shelf?
I think it's a combination of both, Lewis, because every business is different. And what I'm
Yep.
trying to do is target sleeping businesses rather than the ones which are active. So
Yep. Okay.
people, more of people who have businesses or people who have inherited businesses and things like that. So that's my customer demeanor purely because they have basically inherited a massive, well-oiled machine or under-oiled machine, one or the other, but they're sticking their neck into it and they want something done. And
Yep.
get that into the first door is the hardest bit. After that, it's damn
Yep.
it, come on with them. So
It looks like our line's not gone very great again. Yep. I think the Wi-Fi is cutting out a little bit there. What I will
yes, you
say,
have.
if you could hear me, is okay, okay. Technical issues. But um, what I'll add as well is the off-the-shelf versus bespoke, as well as you're also looking at a very different price point. So we want to make sure that the offering we're creating for small, medium businesses is a position that they can actually afford to implement it. Because obviously we're going to have to charge a premium because that's where scaling becomes an issue. Like um, off the shelf is far more scalable, but it's cheaper to deliver. Bespoke, far more expensive, more challenging to scale, but they balance out in terms of income as well. So it also gets very clear when I say about prompting AI as well, I always say start with the outcome, and I do the same with coaching. It's how big do we want to get? If somebody turns around and says I want to get to 100
Do you
million,
think
it's a different conversation if they got to get
very
to 1 million.
yeah, okay, Lewis, can you? Hello, you there?
Yeah, I could, yeah, it was cutting out for me there. I think
Lewis, I can't hear
I
you.
think that's about us time anyway. I'm gonna get Dante to check if my connection's okay, but I think we need to jump on to the next person anyway. Okay. Okay, I've got a couple of technical issues there, but that was very good nonetheless. And Dante will give you a call and
I couldn't hear a
further
single
up
word
that
what you said
conversation
last,
there.
Lewis. It just
But
froze,
that's me. I'm
and
going to jump on to the next
there was
person.
nothing which was coming
So
or was
the
audible.
next person we have up is Ashley. So I'm going to pull you up and introduce yourself. Tell us about yourself and your business. Hello, my friend.
Yeah. So That's
Can you
me.
hear me okay?
Do you reckon
Hi,
it's
I can hear you. Can you hear
worth
me?
Awesome, I can. We're gonna. We've not had a great start with technical issues, so we're
Oh, it's
gonna
good.
be
Well,
good to this one.
hopefully this goes better. It's great. I'm just going to try and increase your volume of my. I had an external display plugged in, so I joined and no sound, and I'm thinking, what's going on? And the only thing I worked for 30 years in IT. I'm not a huge techie, but I worked for Shell from 1986 to 2016, and I worked in the Netherlands. I worked a lot in
Oh,
Aberdeen,
nice.
and I worked in actually Aberdeen was amazing. I absolutely loved it. I mean, my son's in Edinburgh, and my daughter, she stays in Stonehaven, just south of Aberdeen, but she's at Heriot Watt at the moment. So 2 out of my 3 kids are in Scotland. So and yeah, beautiful country. Loved it. I was 18 years up there on 3 different occasions. So yeah,
No, that's awesome.
you wouldn't happen to know Scotland, would you, Lewis?
Just a little bit.
Just a wee bit. Just a wee bit.
Just a wee bit.
Whereabouts are you from yourself?
I'm in Fife.
You're in Fife.
Yeah.
Oh, do you know it's funny? My great grandfather worked at the Admiralty at Rosyth, and he had he had 6 boys and a girl, and one of the boys died young when he was over in Ireland. But 4 out of the 5 remaining boys married Fifers, and my granddad was the only one who went down and married an English lady. So yeah, I've got all my great aunts and uncles were in Dunfermline, but they're sadly passed now. But so yeah, Fife has many happy memories for me as well. So
Fantastic.
that's a great start. That's a great start. Let me tell
Yeah.
you, my I nearly bottled. I won't lie. I I got made redundant after 10 years. Just basically the UK, you'll see it's going down
Oh,
the
yeah.
pan. Shell, I'm not even sure they're operating anymore. I think they've sold off to another company. Blah blah blah. Anyway, by the by, and I do miss it. I miss the buzz. I miss all the fun and games. And I did have a great time. I had a couple of years in the Middle East as well, in Muscat, which was brilliant. It's given me a lot of life experience. But 10 years since, I've been involved in quite a few startups, particularly helping my wife. We've done some care business type stuff, a little bit of legal services, and currently sort of beauty and aesthetics. It's been a struggle. I won't lie. It's been a real struggle. I think trying to take a corporate
It's
guy,
tough.
turn him into an entrepreneur. And it could partly be because trying to find your passion, trying to find your heart, trying to find what actually drives you. Where I am at the moment, I mean, all our businesses have effectively have shut down. We've still got a little bit of issues with one of them, but we're just in the process of. So I'm based in just outside Walsall in the West Midlands, originally from Hertfordshire. Although I've been all over. I was at university in Sheffield, so I'm quite a diverse kind of guy. I've been all over the world. But what's my
Love
passion?
that.
People definitely are my passion, and compassion, encouragement. They're very big on my list.
That's a good one to have, because a lot of people
Yeah,
struggle with that one.
absolutely. But I'm interested in property, and I've made some right balls ups. I mean, I'm 61. I don't feel it. I don't tend to look it. I try not to act it too much.
You didn't look it to me.
No. But that gives me a lot of experience. I mean, my wife's a lot younger than me, and she's an absolute treasure. But she's been through a lot as well. But so she's looking at the moment. They're trying to establish an aesthetics clinic down in Woolwich. But for me, as well as supporting her and juggling all sorts of family challenges, we've got a newborn, well, 8-month-old, who's just
Congrats.
sleeping at the moment, and I'm praying, keep sleeping. But and I've got a load of dogs outside as well. But anyway, by the by, but no, what's on my heart? I see things that I struggle with. So, for example, displaced care workers. I mean, I've had a lot to do with getting sponsor licenses for companies, and a company I was working for, my brother-in-law's company. I mean, it didn't work out so well for me in the end, but by the by. But it's my challenge is focus and drive, and I'm spread so thin. I mean, family-wise, I mean, I do pretty much everything around the house. My wife is not the classic kind of housey person, and that's fine. And she's so amazing outside of that. But so I'm looking for something I can do sort of, a lot from home. But again, sometimes if you try and work from home, you get stuck in all the domestic kind of stuff. So,
Yeah.
do you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yes. So I mean, there's a number of the property kind of gurus I kind of follow, and unfortunately I won't talk names because I don't think it's fair, but the guy I went with is not the guy I should have gone with, and I wish the money that I'd found from my mum actually I put with the other guy that I kind of have a lot of time for. But it's for me, it's getting something, running with it, and keeping going, because it's a
Yes.
bit like that rocket going out of gravity. 80% is breaking through that barrier, and I don't think
100%.
I've truly done it. And I got to I would say a middle management position. I didn't get anywhere near my potential. Um, maybe because I'm too nice, and that's partly it. I'm not a dog eat dog kind of. I'm a dolphin in a world of sharks. That's what my wife. But I do believe that nice guys win in the end, and so I'm ready for the next challenge. And it's just a question of really where I push. I mean, I believe in property in the sense that people need houses and people
Yep.
need solutions. There's a lot, and one of the things I love about some of the guys I've been listening to is, solutions for negative equity, solutions for this, for that, for the other, for poor credit.
That's the entrepreneurial mindset coming in. They're
Yeah,
finding the solutions. Yeah.
yeah, and being creative. Carers. There are tens of thousands of displaced care workers from overseas who are most of them amazing people, willing to work hard, but they've been conned out of thousands. Some of them as much as 20,000. They're in debt up to their necks. They've got families back home. They can't even bring their families now, and yet they've got so much to offer. So that's partly sort of one ahead, but also they need accommodation, and having deposits, signing up. Okay, we've got the renters' right thing, and it's more rolling contracts now than fixed term contracts. But even so, most people aren't particularly keen to rent for a month, whatever. And then the other thing, I see empty properties everywhere. I mean, there's enough properties to house all the homeless, but they're sitting empty and they're derelict and stuff. So, I wanted to have this company, set up this company, Empty Properties. To try to work with the councils to do that. So it's that. So when I see, but it's pushing it through. The other thing that's completely crazy, my wife's originally from Zimbabwe and her sister lives in Zambia, and some of the contacts I'm developing over there as well, huge needs, massive housing needs, 2 million shortage, blah, 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 blah. I don't yet know how I'm going to even get over there, because financially I am kind of, in the smellies. 10 years ago I was on 80K. I've worked about a year in the last 10 years. That's, and I did some work for the local authority, some project management work. So a lot of it's been helping my wife set up businesses, helping this, helping that, doing this for other people, not so much for myself, but but also encouraging people. I want to find a way to sort of build people up and help, because so many people are struggling, lonely, whatever. So that's kind of a bit of where I'm at. And I didn't even have a chance to look at the email because my wife said, "Oh, I need you, I need
That's
you."
okay.
So I had to drive down 4 hours, I think, in the end, because there was some traffic trouble, with my 8-month-old down to South London from the Midlands. So, and back again via Essex. So and that's the
well, there's a lot to digest there, right? There's a lot of great points you mentioned that I'd love to touch on. You mentioned
let me shut up a minute, because you're the guy with the value. You've heard my story. I have a bit of a chaotic life. I do want more order, but I have a passion. I love helping people. I love giving stuff away. Right now, I don't have a lot to give away. So what I do is I act as a conduit. So where I hear there's a need, I try to get people to contribute, and then I channel that. Just to give you one example, beautiful family, Western Uganda, came into contact with a pastor, friend of a friend. Her father of 8 eaten by a crocodile last year. Nobody to pay school fee. Yeah, so we got together. We've got a few people together, and we've now had 2 lots of school fees. I think I've got somebody interested in maybe being a supporter, long-term supporter. And that just gives you one example. People with hospital fees, just a few things that people struggling. And it's not easy. The one-offs are not so difficult. It's the continuous support stuff that I'd like to create. I mean, what my wife wants to have a charity, actually. She's sort of love and grace in action, as she wants to call it. And for this specific thing, literally to channel resources to people who desperately need it, people who are in a lot worse. So that's my heart. And it's just a question of getting these vehicles to fund it. Whilst at the same time providing jobs, providing homes, It's that kind of thing where I actually think my best years are ahead, not behind, even though I've achieved quite a lot in my life.
Love that. Love your mindset.
Yeah.
And there's two key words that I really love picking on was that passion and that vehicle, because sometimes we need the vehicle to create the passion.
Yeah.
And you've mentioned property, real estate. That's where we started, and that's the point where we done well in business, and we still do it. And heck, I had a meeting with my business partner today, and we actually went, I think we should be going more in and doing more property deals, because that was the base and the foundation and the vehicle that channeled it. But I even jokingly said, if we did that full time though, we'd be bored.
Yeah.
Like there's no
Oh,
passion
totally.
there.
It's just
Where this is where
something,
I love this,
everything. Yeah.
contributing and helping. Like I'd make less from this,
Yeah.
but like I don't hide how my business model works. Like if
Mhm.
people get results and they work with me, and I can help them long term, they're far more likely to partner with me. If we partner on that deal, we could end up doing a big exit, and then we could
Exactly.
make much more there. So I make in the long run, but I'm
Yeah.
passionate about this.
Mhm.
I'm coming on
Sure.
here. I'm in Italy. I've been to Ferrari. I spoke at Ferrari today. I'm in a hotel. I'm still doing this because I love it. I wouldn't be going doing a viewing
Yeah,
in a
yeah. No,
property
absolutely.
in the
No,
same. So it's finding that balance to get that
it is.
vehicle
Yeah.
to produce enough. So I love that you've got a lot of reasons why to push. That heart there. When I coach people, I always say we start with what is it we want to focus on, then why. The how comes later. Everybody starts with the how first, and I love that you didn't do that. You didn't come in here asking how, and that's
Yeah.
actually the right mindset.
Right.
The how is actually the easy part.
Mhm. Yeah.
And you mentioned focus. That I have ADHD. I know how tough it is to focus.
Mhm.
A million ideas a day. I have a crazy
Yeah.
entrepreneurial brain. I want to do
Yeah.
everything,
Yeah.
and but it is that focus, like you said, with the rocket breaking
Mhm.
through. We need to get that off the ground and stick with
Yes.
that one thing until it cash flows, until it's churning. Then, if you could systemize and automate it, then you can focus on the next thing. You'll hear a lot of people, including myself, who own multiple businesses, but we
Mhm.
don't run multiple businesses. We run one, and that's
Mhm.
this one. This one here is the one I run because I'm actively in it. Everything else we take one at a time. We build, we put the processes, we system, we hire, we outsource, and it runs like a property.
Mhm.
So you mentioned that you did some training with in property.
Mhm.
How far did that training go? Is that at a point where you could take action on that?
I think I could. I think I'm a bit of a perfectionist, so I don't know why, but because you can't really lose anything, particularly so deal sourcing is a
Yep.
classic. You just try it, and if it doesn't work, you try it again.
Yep. You
I
make
got,
it
I
work.
got
Yeah.
yeah, and I got in with the guy, and I thought it was going to work, but it didn't. And this was another student, and he's dropped off now. Just a guy that lived locally, and I thought, it's this. I suppose I find it easier to work with somebody and bounce ideas off. But
I
it's
can
like,
resonate a lot with that. That's exactly me.
yeah, but it's
I have my
finding that
business partner,
person.
Vincent,
Yeah,
and we're the same. I'm the
yeah,
left brain, he's the right brain. He's the go-getter.
exactly.
I'm the
And I think,
logical. I
yeah,
like to say I'm the brains. He's the action, I'm the brains. That's what I like to say. He might disagree with that, but I'm the one doing the live, so he's not here
no,
right
but
now.
no, absolutely. But I think you need that, and I mean to an extent, I've got that a bit with my wife, but I think there's also
Mhm.
a thing about guys working together. Do you know what I
Yep.
mean? It's if you get the
It's that
right people,
drive.
with the
Yeah.
right mindset, with the right drive, and I think that you know, um, iron sharpens iron kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
that spark, it's that, and so I think that's one of the things where it's trying to find the right environment to do that. And it's just getting started. And it's also just home life is you don't want to know, mate. Honestly, I need to make some money just to clear all the crap away. It's I've got a lot of debris from the past and stuff. I don't want to go into it, but just debts and other nonsense and just poor decisions or decisions that just things didn't work out business wise, and most of that has dropped off. But so I'm looking to like I just need to get started. I think that's it. Just block some time, try something, just do something. Do you know what I mean? What is the flame of? It's almost like what's the flame of the moment? Where can I get the most juice? I think.
Yeah.
What's going to do me the most? Maybe.
Yeah, I want to step back on the one you mentioned about the partnerships as well, because I'm so
Yeah.
big on that, and it's a big thing of what I preach. You know, we
Yeah.
run events in person, we run masterminds, and when I run a mastermind, I bring everybody together. One of the things I say is, we're not selling in this room. I want you to think, how
Yes.
can I connect with this person and do
Yes.
business with them, not just sell to them?
Absolutely.
Because a sales once, a
Yeah.
deal, a partnership, an opportunity is
That's totally
much
my
more.
thinking. Win-win. You know, what can I do to bless you, trusting that if I bless you, you'll bless me, kind of thing. That's my, you know, I'm a bit crazy in terms of, you know, I'm told I'm too generous. Even when I don't have very much, I give what I have. Do you know what I mean? And it's so, yeah. It's just finding, I suppose, finding the right person, or just pressing on until you just keep going, just keep doing stuff. I realize time is pretty much gone, I think so.
Now, what I'm actually going to do, just because we've had a no show, what I've just seen that Amma, who was just on previously,
Mhm.
has put in a message there. I don't think you can see the message. I think it's only I can see it.
Right.
Technical. I'm still new to the software. So what I'm going to do, he said that but he can connect. So
Mhm.
let's see if he's still here, if we could pull him up, and let's see, Aman, are you with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. You know, I saw a message there about you could potentially connect. Let's do that. I'm all about
Yeah,
building relationships. Let's see how
exactly.
we
Yeah.
can help each other.
That's it. And
Yeah, I'm so sorry I didn't get on early enough to listen to you, my friend.
that's fine, not a problem. But yeah, I love your story, and I'm only local to you. I'm only in Warsaw, and let's connect. And
Oh, you're in
let's
Warsaw?
see. Yeah, so let's bounce off ideas from each other and
Wow,
see how we can help each other.
amazing. Yeah, I'm just in Walsall Woods, so just 10 minutes
Yeah,
out.
exactly. So yeah, I'm towards Cambridge, so not far. Yeah,
Okay, fantastic.
yeah.
Brilliant.
So
No, that
yeah,
sounds brilliant. I think it's really important to explore anything that pops up, and it just seems a little bit fortuitous that we could
yeah.
be anywhere in the
Your story
UK
is very
without.
similar to mine because I've tried to find that problem.
Sorry, I'm struggling to hear you there, Mark.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's a couple of comments in. There's some
yeah.
feedback
So
noise.
okay.
Fantastic. Okay.
That was good. So did you exchange there? Sorry, I was just messaging.
No,
Sorry, I'm
just
speaking to
yeah,
the team.
yeah. No, that's fine, Lewis. No, I'm just trying to think. How can we best connect? If I put some, can I put I don't know.
I'll mention, obviously we are live, so just a reminder.
Yes.
So anything that
Oh, that's true.
so don't
So
share contact
so what we'll do
information here
is
if you don't want
probably
people to
once
see
the
it.
event is finished, let's have on
No, not got a good line.
Yeah, it's really poor sound. I'm just. Do you know? Hey,
great.
Technology.
can I just make a suggestion? I mean, kill your camera feed and just see if you can get better audio if it's not taking up as much bandwidth. Yeah, if you switch your camera off, I'm just wondering whether you might get a better audio. That's the techie in me coming out. Not that I'm that techie, but was that? There, his camera's back again. Oh, life. You want to have a laugh,
Yeah,
Lewis?
it looks like his. No, wait, I'm seeing slight
Oh,
movements.
yeah.
Lewis, I'll leave you to with him and let you finish the conversation, and we can definitely
Yeah, no
catch up
problem.
later.
Thanks. Yep,
Yeah.
we'll find a way to
We'll
connect.
find a way, Emma.
Awesome. I'll pop them
Yeah.
off. Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
on just before I did that was obviously
What?
the next person isn't here. So do you have what was the last point you were on, or did you have any other questions?
No, I was
We
just
could
going to
dive
say,
into that.
say something. One of the interesting things about having been in technology for 40 years is
It never works.
no. It is always challenging, but there's so many little bits. But let me tell you a little funny story. Well, a funny story. Back in early 90s, we were moving away from doing our reservoir modeling on Cray supercomputers, which cost absolutely millions and millions and millions, to desk side IBM RS 6000 systems. For one 256 megabyte memory module, I was paying 37 grand. And we had
Wow.
boxes, and the max that at the time those boxes could take was 8 of those. So 2 gig of RAM was like off the scale. But it was 37 grand for each 256 meg module for boxes that sit under
Wow.
the desk. Yeah. A graphics card. I mean, honestly, I mean, just one simple workstation was 100 grand plus. We were
That's crazy how
spending,
far we've come.
yeah, we have come so far. I mean, when I left Shell 10 years ago, I don't think we got, how far had we got? I think we had half a terabyte of RAM, and I think it had to be Linux because I think Microsoft, if I remember, Windows only addressed about 384 gig or something like that. But they would have been well into the terabyte RAM systems, I would think. And when you were doing modeling work, obviously you want to hold as much in memory. So that's why they were really, really big on the RAM. So the boxes themselves, okay, they weren't cheap, but it was the memory was, and it's really interesting if you sort of extrapolate that out to the human, you know, what's in here? There is so much potential. Do you know what I mean? And one of the personal challenges I've got, okay, is I've been married a few times, not my choice, but I've always had this. Oh, you read all these books, you go on all these courses. Why don't you change? Why don't you change? Why can't you land something? Why can't you? I mean, okay, I did okay in corporate, but it wasn't. I didn't get to the level which I was deemed potential. And it almost sometimes feels like I'm in a box, and if I can just get the right thing, the lid's gonna blow off, and because ultimately I want to help millions. I don't just want to. You know, I had a dream. This is the craziest dream. This will really blow your mind. So my wife's a Zulu, originally a Zulu, and I would love to change black people's perception of white people in Africa.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That I know that's a crazy dream, but I want to serve. I want to, you know, there's so many needs. They need people to just do things.
Yeah.
Resources
You have
are
the right
there.
mindset. I really like this, and I would love to see how there's a way we can work together long term.
Yeah,
Like,
I would love that too.
absolutely.
Because
Stay in the network. Are you following on socials? Are we connected?
I'm not really connected. I don't even know how I got. I saw something about, is it the operator trap or something?
Yep. So you'll be getting the book.
Yeah.
You'll get
Yeah.
us. So me, my business partner Vincent, you'll get us on social media. You'll
Yeah.
see a couple of emails.
Yeah.
You'll
No,
be able to
definitely.
get us. Definitely keep in touch.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I've got so much to give, like stupid lots to give. Do you know what I mean? My heart is just bonkers big. But part of the challenge I've got is I've not been great with money. My dad's great with money. I mean, he's almost 90. Bless him, he's a retired accountant, and he's been brilliant with money. Me, not so much.
Then
So
you have to give to receive, and I'm very big on that. And we're
you
talking
do,
business
and
too.
I
You
do
give
believe,
first.
and I've given quite a lot, and it will come back in. It will come back in. I know it will. I just need to be a little bit more structured, a bit more ordered. But saying that, I know my heart's in the right place, and I know that, you know, it's going to break. It's going to break. It's got to break because because of where I'm at and the experience I've got and the fact I just want to help people. I really want to help people.
When I teach sales, I always coach people on change the word sell to help. Rather than I'm always thinking, how can I help you with this? And if I can't help you, I'm not going to sell to you. My product's not the right fit for you. And it's the same in property. A lot of people don't think about that in property terms, but it is. You're providing a service. You're helping a landlord. You're helping a tenant. You're helping whatever structure it is you're doing. If you're deal sourcing, you're helping the investor not need to do that work. You're also helping the landlord. Deal sourcing is a great place to be, and it's one of the places that we started, and we actually have a client who I actually brought with us to Ferrari, and he's a deal sourcer as well, so he's one of my good clients, and he's doing very well. It's a people game. Deal sourcing is building connections. Like, why should I buy a deal from you? There's thousands of deal sourcers, because I know, like, and trust you, because we connected, and that's the beautiful part of property. The physical buildings themselves doesn't excite me. The relationships that we build, however,
that's exactly me. And I'm a little bit naive, I suppose. I trust somebody until they give me a reason not to trust them. Unless
I like
unless I get some kind of intuition that something's
Yeah.
not quite stacking up. But generally, I like to give people, and even when
Yeah.
people have screwed me over, I don't just walk away necessarily,
Yeah.
because usually there's a reason. Usually people are, I mean, everybody's broken to one degree
Yeah.
or other. If
Everybody does something for a reason. Yeah, there's always a reason.
if people put their, I mean, see, you know, if I goof up, I put my hand up and I say, do you know what? I'm really sorry. I didn't set out to do this, but
Yep.
for whatever reason, it just hasn't worked. And you know, let's see how can we salvage it? What can we do? You know, sometimes, you know, it's in when something doesn't work, it's in how you deal with it that can actually make a relationship. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't have to be plain sailing for everything. Do you know? It doesn't have to be hunky dory. Sometimes, if it doesn't quite work out, it's how you deal with it. That's certainly my experience with companies as well. I've had some really fascinating experiences with companies. So,
absolutely. One of my mentors taught me trust but verify. It was always about trust first. If somebody comes and says, you take it at face value, but you're also gonna spend some time getting to know the person and verifying.
Yeah, no, definitely.
You'll always know when somebody's bullshit. And I had a meeting recently, and the story that I got last meeting versus this meeting didn't line up.
Yeah.
And it was like, so I know they're bullshitting
something
me with something, and
that
then discredits them in business, because if they're willing to lie about that, what else are they lying about? So it's, you know, very
definitely.
big on being open and genuine and honest. Like, you know, I'm
absolutely.
not going to stand here and say that I'm the most successful entrepreneur on the planet. I'm not. I'll tell you where I'm at, and I'll meet you, and I can get you to the level I'm at. But there's also levels above, and it's being humble enough to just be real. And I love and respect that you're like that as well. So.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is, I do believe in the know me, like me, trust me, and I do my best. I don't deliberately set out to be likable, but I do like to be liked. But I also feel I've got
sometimes polarizing's better.
Yeah, but I think so. It's
better to be loved and hated than liked by everyone, because then nobody loves you.
But I don't mind helping people without necessarily even expecting anything back, because in my experience, the more you give, the more you get. It doesn't always come from the same place.
I do agree with that, and that's for everybody listening. I want to hone in on that, because we big on that. Like, you know, I go to communities, networking. I'm like, hey, how can I help you? Especially when somebody's above me. Like, what am I going to bring to the table? They're ahead of me in business. They know more than me. They've got more money than me. They've got more everything. What can I possibly bring? I'm like, so I'll go find something and I'll bring it to them. Like, hey, I'll help you with this, because I might have a skill or knowledge or a connection or something else. A lot of time when people are above, it's not about money. Everybody thinks, oh, they just want to make money. A lot of the time they don't. They want something else. They have money. They don't need you to say, I'm going to help you make money. Like I have that. I want something different now, and that's how you can go and connect with these people who are ahead in the game, and bring value in a different way.
Definitely. I mean, you
mentioned your family. That's a great one as well. Like,
and one of the reasons, I'll be honest with you, one of the reasons I want to be successful right now is my dad. You know, my dad is almost 90, is not in the best health. He was doing all right, and then he had a mini stroke, which has kind of knocked him for 6. But my dad he'd be happy to see me stacking shelves in Tesco, to be honest with you, just to do something. And that's not me. And I'm kind of holding out for something better. And all the jobs I've been for, not bad jobs, you know, I didn't even get an interview for, even though I thought I'd be really able to contribute something. But I just know there's something more. And I think, it's just like getting the right connections. And this has totally come from left field. And you know, I really like you, Lewis. I think you've got, it's almost like, you don't almost have to say it. When you say something, it's definitely worth listening to, but there's something about you
it comes from the heart
that commends you, if you don't have to say so.
I appreciate
you
that.
know, you're very relaxed, but you're clearly very sharp. You're a fun guy, but when it's time to be serious, you're serious. And I think that, and you've got an amazing smile. And I think that, so when you've got an amazing smile, the whole know me, like me, trust me, kind of, it works naturally.
You can't fake that. You can always see a fake smile. Apparently it's in the eyes. Somebody told me, apparently.
Well, the eyes are the window to the soul, they say. So, you know, but I think you've got, I think, you know, I think you've got a happy demeanor. And I think, you know, and I have a happy demeanor most of the time. Sometimes life gets a little bit too much. If you do my story, you go, really? Because most people do. But I just know that greatness is within. And I've been told that, I was told that many years ago, there's greatness within you. You have the seeds of greatness in you. And I know that by helping other people to become great, the whole Zig Ziglar thing, if you help enough people to get what they want, you can have anything you want. And it's just finding that right vehicle and getting started. And I believe that one day, I may speak to many people, because really, I just want people to rise up, particularly people in really tough situations. I've not known poverty. I've been very privileged in that sense, but I've also been counting pennies just to buy a bottle of milk. You know what I mean, or a carton of milk. So it's not that I haven't struggled. I have struggled and a lot over these last 10 years, but I just see that.
Yeah, let's take some action and turn that around. I'm going to get wrapped up shortly, but I do want to add on the note of like what you said with Ziegler, was I have a saying along that of, somebody once asked me very vaguely, like, how do I make $1 million? So I gave them a vague answer back. I said, make someone else $1 million first. You need to give $1 million worth of value before you expect to receive $1 million. You actually have to give more than you receive. So you might need to make 10 people $1 million worth of value before you receive $1 million back, or maybe more.
I love that. That's great. Yeah. No, definitely.
No, thank you very much for coming.
I've actually really enjoyed it. Do you know what I mean? You've stirred me up, and I'm thinking, do you know what? It'd be seriously cool if we could do something together. I don't know what, but it would be absolutely brilliant.
Well, Dante will give you a call and speak and let you know about what we do, how we can work together. It could let you know about the socials as well, so you can at least connect. So even if you can't work with us today, connect with us, keep in touch. I'm all about building the long-term relationships. I don't want to just speak to you once and never speak to you again. Like, hey, let's build that. And our whole funnel is partnerships. The goal,
absolutely. And right now, I don't have money. Do you know what I mean? But just because I don't have money now, I have so much more than money. Do you know what I mean? I have so much to give, and I think that in having that heart with getting the right connections, like yourself, the money side of it, because at the end of the day, I can see, of course, money pays the bills, but life is so much more than money. And and
you could always make more.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're big on, like, when you do property, you learn a lot about raising finance, and you start to learn that you don't need money to buy property. You could bring in investors, you can raise. Same with buying businesses. A lot of the businesses buy very low money down. It's a combination of investors, banks, and seller finance. And you said the word earlier, creative. It's creative solutions, and I'm so big on. This is why I love business more than property, because property, there's ways that it has to be done. Like, there's different ways of doing it in Scotland versus England.
Indeed, yeah.
But with business, as long as we agree and we both sign that dotted line, deal's happening.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about that, is we can come up with any crazy solution we want. As long as everybody's happy, it happens.
Absolutely.
And there's so many ways to raise finance. I've done a lot of coaching people on raising finance, and what I always say is, you already know your first investor, because somebody's not going to invest into you unless they know, like, trust you. They're not going to say, hey, I'm going to do this property deal, and they're like, really? You? Property? Like, they need to actually be bought into you and actually go, you know what? I've known you for 20 years. When you say you're going to do something, you do it. When I've seen you do this, I've seen you do that. I trust you. I'll help you out. And that's why it's hard to raise new finance sometimes, because you've got to spend, like, I'm part of a community, which is how I was able to actually be here at Ferrari. And a lot of people I met through that. It took a year before we built the relationships to start doing business with these people.
Indeed.
Because we came in as an outsider. Everybody has their communities.
Yeah.
Now we're an insider, and we're doing business, and people are investing in our deals. We're collaborating, doing business with other people. And business is a people game. Everybody's worried about AI replacing them. AI is not going to replace business, because business is a people game.
Definitely. I think my one takeaway from this is, who can I serve? And because that's my heart. So because that's my heart, all I'm doing is going out. Is it somebody trying to sell a property? Is it somebody trying to buy a property? Do you know what I mean? Is it somebody trying to invest in property? I do actually have a friend who's got some money, who doesn't know what to do with it. So that's something I want to serve. So I think, who can I serve? That's my takeaway from today, and I'm really grateful to you for that, Lewis, because that's golden. Because I knew it in my heart, I just hadn't spoken it out of my mouth. And I think if I make, who can I serve, at the heart, and it's like, what can I do today to serve somebody?
Yes.
I need to find out. I
If
need
you
to
think
find
that
out.
every day and ask yourself
Yeah,
that every day, you will take
yeah,
action every day and you will get results.
exactly, and that's it. And even if it's just reaching out to people, even just
Yeah.
reaching out to estate agents, have you got a property that's stuck? Is it something that you can't sell? If they're in negative equity, they can't drop the price. Okay, so can we find somebody? Can we do a purchase option or blah blah? Do you know what I mean? I know some of the jargon, I know some of the solutions. So on the back end, my learning needs to be targeting on target my learning on solutions provision. What solutions are there to the problems, and then so I've got seek the people with the problems and develop and learn the solutions that can meet those problems.
And that is in the right order. Because going back
Yeah,
to my framework, it's the what first. What's the problem?
yes, the
How is
need.
third? We need
Yeah, the
then
need, the
why am
need
I
will
solving
always
it?
drive it. The need will always
Yeah.
drive it. And because I'm not wanted to be, I mean, I did something in property 30 odd years ago, a total disaster, because
I've had a few of them.
oh, it was horrible. I lost about 70 grand when I couldn't afford to lose 70 grand. It was just bonkers. But it was buying off plan. And even like the developer who went bust himself, but the guy, not the developer, the guy who was doing the deal with the developer, he right at the last moment said, I don't mind buying them back off you. Oh, if only. However, I learned some very powerful lessons. So if you're buying off plan and then you're going to resell, don't try to take too much out of the deal. If you're going to buy somewhere, go and look at it. Don't do it from another country. So I learned some really expensive, powerful lessons from that big goof. And maybe that's also a treasure in and of itself. So maybe don't look at it as failure, look at it as feedback and value.
I like to say you either earn or learn, or it's either a lesson or a blessing. And I always like to say as well is you will pay for education. And you
Yes.
have a choice. Either you're going to pay somebody else to teach you, or you're going to
Yeah.
pay in mistakes. Either
Yeah,
way,
absolutely.
it's going to cost you. And it's like,
Definitely.
I've done both. And I know which
Yes.
one I prefer.
No,
I've paid for
absolutely.
very expensive mentors, but they've also saved me and made me a fortune.
Absolutely. And the thing is that people say, oh, why buy a book, or why go on a course, or why do this, or why do that? Sooner or later, I think, right? Do you know that story about that fast growing bamboo, the one that spends years or months, whatever it is, putting down the roots, and then suddenly overnight it grows 90 feet or something like that. And I think that's me. I think I've been learning and growing and making mistakes and doing this and doing that for decades. And then just finding the right soil or the right vehicle or whatever it is. But if I go out there saying, okay, tell me about, have you got a problem? How can I help? And then, like you said, getting the things in the right order, what, why, how.
I can resonate with that because I was the same. I was always studying and learning to the point where too much, where I wouldn't take action. And it was actually my business partner that changed that for me, because I met him and I was like, this guy's unstoppable. He doesn't care if he's doing it right. He just goes and be like, I'll learn as I go.
That's more my wife, to be honest
I'm
with you.
like,
That's more my wife.
and I think you mentioned the perfectionism as well. Like, I'm like, no, we need to make sure we do it right. And he's like, Jeff Bezos says something that I love. He says, once you have 80% of the information, you make the decision, because the last 20%, the length of time it would take you to get the last 20 to get there, you could actually have made the decision and even undone it, and it would be cheaper. Because getting the last information could become expensive, because it might take months, and that's not just cost of paying for the information; it's opportunity cost of what you could have done in that time.
No, definitely.
So Jeff Bezos says 80%.
How can I connect with? Is it Amar? Amar, you were talking to?
Yeah, Amar.
Yeah. How do I connect with him? Will somebody email me his details, or?
Yeah, I'll get Dante to connect you guys. You both gave permission, so that's fine for me to share that.
Yeah, definitely. But I think
GDPR and everything I have to watch.
no, definitely. I mean, I'm a committed Christian, and I kind of believe in the big picture, if you know what I mean. And so I don't believe anything is by accident. So for me to come on here, even for me to be here, and then the guys live just down the road. Do you know what I mean? It's like there's
that's
so
awesome.
much more. You know what I mean? And we can have a conversation another time, but I've experienced some pretty mighty things in my life.
That's awesome. And even today, I mentioned I was at Ferrari, I was at Lamborghini yesterday. I had dinner on both days. Both tables that I was at, by coincidence, were the exact right people in the room that I needed to speak to. and I
you
met
go.
some great connections. They want to work with me, and I'm like, it's fantastic.
Absolutely brilliant. No, it sounds fantastic.
Well, some pictures will be going up on my social media soon. But what an experience being in
Yeah,
Italy and seeing this.
good
So
for you. No, that's wonderful. That's wonderful.
awesome. Well, I appreciate you being on, Ashley, and
No, it's
Mar, I
been
think he's still
fantastic,
listening in
Lewis.
the background. Thank
Yeah.
you for joining, and I'm going to get wrapped up with we're meant to have 7 people, but looks like we've had more technical problems. My team's been messaging me, so
Yeah.
I'm
Well,
going
do you
to
know
wrap
what?
it here, get it
I'm
fixed,
very
and
grateful for the fact that we had a little bit of extra time, because I was a little bit nervous because I didn't have it all together, and I thought I kind of needed it all together. And then I thought, well, maybe if I don't have it all together, maybe
that's
Lewis
sometimes
is the
better.
right
Yeah,
guy to help me to get it all together. And
yeah,
now we've come back to service. How can I serve you?
yep,
Who can I serve? Who can I serve? How can I
yep.
serve? Do you know what I mean?
And
What
then we
can
could decide if you want to go down the property vehicle, which is a
Yeah.
great thing there, or even looking at your partner and saying, is there
Yeah.
anything there that there's synergy? I'm very big
Do you
on
know
synergy. I'm always
what
looking for leverage.
what I'd love to do is to get deal sourcing so that I can get the equivalent of an income, or a decent income, or like a double job, whatever, but just to pay the bills, to pay all the fines, to pay everything that is literally is like a flipping octopus or Python or something at the moment. It's just literally doing my head in, just things that weren't dealt with, and blah blah blah. So do some deal sourcing, get a few grand in, then invest in myself, invest in education, invest in coaching. Just to because I think
And
that's
being in
really,
the rooms as well. A lot of
yeah, get
people
in the right
are loving
rooms.
the online stuff now. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm trying to say, come away from that, because it's great to learn online, but you're
yeah,
not doing any deals with anybody online.
yeah,
Get in the rooms
exactly.
with people and you'll connect.
Definitely,
And
definitely.
hey, I'm naturally an introvert. I'd never liked going to the rooms, and
It's
look at me
funny,
now.
isn't
I'm a
it?
speaker. I'm doing
Yeah, yeah.
this,
A
and
lot of
yeah,
introverts find themselves in that situation. Yeah.
yeah.
No,
I
fantastic.
appreciate it. Dante, we'll speak, we'll connect, we'll
Brilliant.
find,
Oh, it's good.
and we're going to sort out the next week. So we had technical issues with multiple people, but hey, every week's a learning opportunity. Anything that I can do to
Absolutely.
learn and grow and improve this. So I
Yeah,
appreciate, Ashley. I'm going to pull you off and wrap up. So
no worries.
thanks for joining.
Thank you very much indeed, Lewis. I really appreciate you too, brother.
Awesome. Thank you, man.
Cheers.
Bye.
Cheers. Bye. Bye.
So thanks everyone for joining. We did have a lot technical issues today. A few. I'm using wired headphones. I'm trying to be as respectful as I can, being in a hotel at the moment. And the member of staff behind the desk, I told her she could throw something at me if I'm too loud, and she hasn't. So I'm not sure if she's just nice or if I've just not annoyed her. So either way, we're good. And we will sort next week. We're going to change the structure slightly so that we can organize people, because we did have 7 people booked in, and it looks like we only got 2. We only got 2. I'll speak to my team straight off of that. I've been having messages to say things are not quite working, but if you want to get on, and Ashley, if you're still here, you even mentioned your partner, if she wants to come on and talk about her business and the stuff that she's working on, I'd absolutely love to have her on. You can apply directly for the show at reckoning.lewis-hunter.com. I'll get you on. I want to help. You'll get your slot. You'll get a chance to talk about your business, see what you're focused on. And I also like to mention, camera is optional. If you would rather not share publicly stuff and you just want to talk to me with your camera off, that's fine. So I will